best Canadian basketball team is coming. With the FIBA Basketball World Cup just around the corner, Canada has dropped its official camp lineup for the tournament, and it's looking interesting. After a bit of a bummer with a 21st place finish in 2019, the squad's gearing up to show up big this time. The Canucks are rolling in with some serious optimism, all thanks to a bunch of young hotshots like NBA stars Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, and RJ Barrett. With all these hotshots in one place, is it finally time for Canadian basketball to dominate the entire world? Can they really pull themselves together in time? Stick around to find out. Here's the deal. This Canadian basketball team comes with a little twist. Having a bunch of NBA aces on board sounds awesome, but it might make it a tad tough to click as a team in just a few weeks. You see, they have to get it together before the FIBA World Cup slam dunks in Indonesia and the Philippines from late August to early September. This year's crew might just be the real deal. Not only do they seem to have the slickest skills Canada's team has ever shown on the world stage, but they're also well connected. It's almost as if everyone on that team knew each other somehow before they were chosen for the lineup. After taking just one look at it, most people have decided that this Canadian team is probably one of the best teams we have seen on the world stage recently. This brings up a lot of questions. Can they actually defeat the ultra-dominant USA team? Some people were saying yes, at least until the Canadian team lost their star man. While it was looking to be a slammer for the team, they were hit with some disappointing news while preparing for the start of the World Cup. Jamal Murray, that baller from the Denver Nuggets, won't be rocking the Team Canada jersey in the upcoming FIBA World Cup, according to the scoop dropped by Canada Basketball recently. Murray hit up Canada's training camp in Toronto earlier this month, and after discussions with the squad and the medical crew, they all gave a nod to the idea that he needs some extra rest after grinding it out in a crazy long and demanding season. Murray spilled that when he stepped into the training camp, he was kinda testing the waters to see how his body would bounce back after that marathon of a season, and if he really could kick it into high gear for the World Cup hustle. Oh, and in case you missed it, Murray's been chillin' for about 2 months since the Denver Nuggets snagged their first ever franchise title back in June. Also, ballers like Serbia's Nikola Jokic, the two-time NBA MVP, and Murray's partner from the Golden State are giving the World Cup a pass to catch their breath. By the way, this deja vu has happened before. Remember when Murray skipped the 2021-22 season while patching up from an ACL tear surgery? It seems like he just can't catch a break with international basketball. It's painful that he might not get to represent his team because Canada must attain a top 2 position among the Americas teams to secure a place at the 2024 Paris Olympics. The last time Canada participated in the Olympics was in 2000. Murray's still daydreaming about repping Canada in the Olympics, and you better believe he's going to be the loudest cheerleader on the sidelines. Sure, losing Murray, who dropped an average of 20 points and dished out 6.2 assists per game for the Nuggets last season, stings a bit. But Team Canada ain't no slouch with players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder, Nickeil Alexander-Walker of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and RJ Barrett of the New York Knicks holding it down. The vibes around the Canadian national senior men's basketball team are seriously confident and totally justified. Check this out. We've got RJ Barrett, the young forward who might just be a better fit for the international game than the NBA, where he's already a big shot. Defensively, we've got Dillon Brooks and Lugenz Dort holding it down. Seriously, these two are like the definition of tough defense. They have an exceptional level of tenacity on the defensive end that's hard to match. And let's not forget about the experience factor. With players like Kelly Olynyk and Barrett, who seem to vibe well with FIBA rules. Oh, and guys like Dwight Powell have been through most of the battles on the international stage alongside Olynyk. The talent pool doesn't end there. We've got the sharp guard, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and the OG of the team, Corey Joseph. Now, these 18 guys are at the pre-tournament training camp in Toronto, getting ready for the FIBA World Cup kickoff on August 25th in Indonesia. The tough part is going to be picking just 12 for the actual tournament, which is barely over 3 weeks away. Now, Canada's got the second best odds to win it all, only trailing their U.S. neighbors. The American team's solid, but they're not bringing out the big guns they'll save for the Olympics next year. This presents Canada with its most promising opportunity to secure a medal at the World Cup. Rather than shying away from the weight of expectations, recently appointed head coach Jordi Fernandez openly embraces the attention and pressure that comes with it. So they asked Fernandez about how he sees the team's defense overall. Now, this guy's been around the NBA block for a while and knows his way around the international scene too, so he didn't waste the chance to spell out what he's expecting from his squad. Listen, if the Canadian team isn't gunning to be the defensive kings of the tournament or even the whole world, then they're seriously selling themselves short. It's not just about skills here. This crew's got something special going on. Murray spilled the beans when he was talking to the press. These dudes have been facing off or teaming up since they were knee-high. It's a tight-knit crew that just vibes together, whether they're balling on the court or eating lunch together. For instance, instead of coming to the training camp, Murray could have easily opted out this summer following the Denver Nuggets championship victory. He would have still been welcomed warmly next summer if the team qualified for the Olympics. But he wasn't about to miss out on hanging out with his buddies. Winning an NBA championship just a month and a half ago, Murray ended up playing catch-up with the Canadian crew who'd had more prep time for this camp. Murray's not alone in the feeling. The whole gang, all 17 players in the mix, they've convinced this version of Team Canada can snatch a medal. Fernandez? Oh, he's got some serious high hopes. And let's talk about players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. These guys live for those clutch moments. We've all seen it. Whether it's NBA or FIBA, when the pressure's on in the fourth quarter, these fellas bring their A-game. Yeah, sure, it might seem a bit early to be talking about medals when they've only been hanging for a few days, but Fernandez knows what he's working with, and he's itching to show the world what they've got. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, practically grew up duking it out on the driveway back in Hamilton, Ontario. All those head-to-head battles actually turned them into tight bros. The two men shared dreams of wearing the maple leaf since their teenage days. Back in the day, while Shai and Nickeil were battling it out for driveway supremacy, RJ Barrett was playing tag with his old man on European basketball courts, perfecting his moves. Barrett's repping the New York Knicks now, and he's all in for Team Canada this year. And guess what? His pops, Rowan Barrett, who used to ball in Europe and Israel, is now the GM for Team Canada. Talk about keeping it in the family. But it's not just about family ties that bring this squad together. Kyle Alexander and Jamal Murray, for example, were high school buddies at Orangeville Prep. Murray even teamed up with Dillon Brooks in AAU ball. These guys go way back. The only problem is, unlike these other squads that have been playing together for ages, this Canadian crew has never really played together before. In 2021, Barrett and Lugenz Dort were in the scene, but Olynyk and Gilgeous-Alexander were MIA. Flip the script in 2022. Barrett and Dort were no-shows, but Shai and Olynyk stepped up. Brooks and Murray haven't shown their faces on the Canadian court in years. Still, these Canucks are banking on their personal connections to bridge the gap on the court. We can only hope it goes their way. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We have more exciting videos coming your way.